In a large city, people were always moving, always chasing something. No time to rest, no time to look back. In that city lived a couple named Jack and Jill. They didn't meet through love, they met through similarity. Both hated work, both hated struggle. Both wanted the good things of life, money, comfort, status, without paying the price. They didn't believe in patience. They believed in access. Over time, they discovered something about themselves. They were good at reading people. Very good. And they noticed something else about the world. People are most vulnerable when they are lonely, desperate, ashamed, or hopeful. That became their business. Jack and Jill were married, but marriage meant nothing to them except partnership. They used each other. They agreed on roles. Jill would enter lives quietly, emotionally. Jack would appear later, powerfully. They didn't rush. They studied. Jill looked for men who had something to lose. Successful men, company owners, married or single, it didn't matter. She presented herself as single, broken, overwhelmed, misunderstood. She spoke softly. She shared pain. She acted like someone who needed saving. And men listened, not because they were stupid, but because they believed they were helping someone in trouble. Closeness grew. Trust deepened. Boundaries blurred. What started as help slowly became something else. For the man, it became adultery. For Jill, it became evidence. Messages, voice notes, images, not taken violently, not taken suddenly, collected patiently. One day Jill changed. Her voice was no longer soft. She didn't threaten loudly. She didn't shout. She said things like, "You wouldn't want your investors to misunderstand this. Your wife would be very hurt. Your company's image matters." The man understood. His business, his marriage, his children, all hanging by a thread. And Jill demanded money, property, access. He paid again and again. Jack worked differently. He looked for women who were struggling, unemployed, emotionally vulnerable, spiritually confused. He spoke with confidence. He claimed connections to powerful people, access to jobs, spiritual insight, the ability to see things. He said, "I can help you, but this stays between us." And they trusted him. They confided in him, shared mistakes, shared fears, shared past wounds. Help turned into dependence. Dependence turned into debt. Money flowed, always one-sided. When a woman hesitated, Jack reminded her of what she had confessed, of messages she had sent, of moments she was ashamed of. He didn't invent lies. He used truths shared in trust, and he demanded more. Jack and Jill repeated this again and again. Different faces, same outcome. Homes shaken, businesses damaged, lives destabilized. They lived well, dressed well, ate well. Still, they never worked. He first gave them money, presenting himself as a spiritual man, someone who saw visions, someone who understood things others couldn't see. He said the money was help, support, a seed. Then slowly the tone changed. What was once help became expectation. What was once kindness became obligation. He began to demand money back, more than he ever gave. When they couldn't meet his demands, they borrowed. When borrowing wasn't enough, they fell into debt. Help turned into dependence. Dependence turned into debt. Money flowed, always one-sided. When a woman hesitated, Jack reminded her of what she had confessed in trust, of messages she had sent in vulnerable moments, of mistakes she was ashamed of. He didn't invent lies. He used truth shared in trust, and he demanded more. Jack notices Mrs. Lee, a lonely widow, and sees an opportunity. He presents himself as kind, spiritual, and understanding, the kind of man who can help her through her loneliness and life problems. He starts spending time with her, taking her out shopping, dinner at nice restaurants, appearing genuinely caring. Once trust is established, Jack begins to manipulate and demand money, threatening her with exposure or emotional harm, pressuring her to give him money, pushing her to sell her shares in the stock market. Mrs. Liu begins to feel trapped. She's scared, ashamed, and overwhelmed. Her daughter, Sophia Chun, notices something is wrong. Her mother is anxious and withdrawn. Strange financial decisions, selling stocks, giving money, fearful of Jack's influence. Sophia, a detective, gently persuades her mother to open up completely about what is happening. Through her mother's confession, Sophia uncovers Jack and Jill have been exploiting other victims, both men and women. Many victims are ashamed to come forward, afraid the world would laugh at them, afraid it would destroy their families. These victims stayed silent, giving Jack and Jill freedom for years. Through her mother's confession, Sophia uncovers Jack and Jill have been exploiting other victims, both men and women. Many victims are ashamed to come forward, afraid the world would laugh at them, afraid it would destroy their families. These victims stayed silent, giving Jack and Jill freedom for years. Sophia begins a professional investigation, interviews other victims discreetly, collects evidence, financial records, messages, blackmail proof, builds a strong case. With the evidence, authorities catch Jack and Jill ending their scheme. Even the most skilled manipulators can be undone by vigilance, courage, and the truth.